Okay. So thank you, dear devotees. A little delayed. So sorry about that. Let's get started. Wow. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Harinam Sankirtan Yajyati Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chalakaya Chakra Indritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhisham Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnava Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatha Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhu videva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So thank you, my dear devotees, for joining in the valuable association. So today we'll continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, where we are reading from Canto 1, chapter 3. So we'll start with the verse that we finished last time. So last time we were, so I just want to highlight a few things in the last time. So we talked about the Falashruti, right? What's the benefit of reading this? So do we read, the question is, that do we read Srimad Bhagavatam for a Falashruti that it gives? It says, takes away misery, so which is great, all the misery goes away in life and we do nice bhajan. So do we read chapters to get this Falashruti?
It's just extra benefit.
Okay, extra benefit. Yeah, we don't read for getting these benefits because we don't want relief from miseries. If Prabhupada said, I don't want miseries, then he would have not come to America and preached so much. All our Guru work, you look at them, their lives. They have gone through so much misery, so much trouble in their life. Physically, mentally, financially, look at that, so much trouble. But still they continue preaching. Because they are, because here there's a beautiful word which I was contemplating, which comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita. He says, Prema dhana vina vyartha daridra jivana dasa kari vetan more deha prema dhana. He says, without love of God, my life is useless. There's nothing in my life. If I don't get all the opulences that I have in my life, material opulences, I have no value. Right? So he says, my daridra is very poor. Very poorly stricken person called daridra, very poor. So my life will be useless without the love of God. Therefore, I am praying that you accept me as your servant, and just give me salary as your love. That's it. Just imagine if we have maid servants in our home, we can give love. And they'll come and give love. We'll be happy. Oh, please come. Yes, we'll give love. Isn't it? But in this world, that is not value. Love is not value. Only if you give some good gift and all that, then if you go to somebody's birthday and just from the heart profusely bless them, wish them, oh, your health will be good and all, they'll still not like it. Yes, you did not carry something, at least you could have got some flower, something, because in this world, the transactions are all more give and take. What is in for me? What is my benefit? But in case of transcendental thing, it is nothing. I just want to serve and get the love. That's it. So we don't read chapters to get a fellowship. Yes, it's an extra thing which comes in, that's fine, but we don't do it for that. We just do it to increase our love for Radha and Krishna. That is where we do. So I thought I'll just make the point before we move to the verse from today. So we are reading verse 30 now. Okay. So we want to finish this chapter today because there are 44 verses. So we'll cover like 16 verses in about 45-50 minutes. We'll try to do that. So in the interest of time, we'll read the translation. So Robert, can you please read the translation for this chapter, this sloka? Yeah.
What is this, 1, 3, 3?
Yeah, 3, yes.
Oh, okay. The conception of the Virat, universal form of the Lord, as appearing in the material world, is imaginary. It is to enable the less intelligent neophytes to address the idea of the Lord as having form. But factually, the Lord has the material form.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhupada. So this word 30 to 39 is going to talk about very clearly tell that the Virat Roop is imaginary. It's imaginary. It's not real. The real form is the Shyam Sundar. That's the real form. Okay. But the people who are materialistic, they will not be able to understand that. Therefore, they are seeing, okay, Lord has this kind of form. They say imaginary conception, right? So there are many shlokas which will confirm this, and as we go forward, that we should not be thinking about this particular form which was shown even to Arjuna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra.
That's what we're talking about.
That form.
So that is in the song.
Yeah. That's also happened. So that is not the real Swarup. Because his real Swarup is Satchida Ananda, which is like, which is always blissful. So Virat Swarup is like very fastly, Arjuna was actually afraid, oh, what is this? I don't want to see, please come back to your normal form. He was like, when he saw, he said, I don't want to see this. This is like too much. Please don't show me this. He got bewildered. So what is Krishna? Is this Krishna? I can't imagine it. That's what happened to him. He got really confused and also he was scared, very much scared.
It's cool when you read that, you're like, oh wow.
No, it's
Terrifying.
Yeah, even if you see, sometimes we read that somebody has 4 hands, some animal has got extra leg hand. We know how, but when you see it, actually you really feel it's something really different. It doesn't sound very good. So that's what was happening with Arjuna. So yes, so it's a material form. So that is what is getting confirmed in these verses from 30 to 39, and then various things are going to come out now. Okay. So text 31. Ram Prabhu, are you able to read this one? Or can you hear me? First of all, I didn't ask you, but I hope you can hear what we are saying.
Yes, Prabhu, I can hear you, Prabhu, but I'm outside, Prabhu.
Oh, okay. Okay, no problem. So we'll read here locally. No problem. Yeah, thank you. Can you read? No, 31.
Clouds and dust are carried by the air, but less intelligent person say that the sky is cloudy and the air is dirty. Similarly, they also incline materially the conception on the spirit self.
Hare Krishna. So here they have the conception, of material conception on the spirit, which the less intelligent people impose. When they see Krishna, they think Krishna was born, he died. When a child is born, what happens? There is a blood which comes out, the umbilical cord is to be cut. So many things happen. In Krishna's case, nothing of that sort happened. He just came, he just appeared. But less intelligent people think, oh, he was born, and then he died. When he was fighting at the battle, he had perspiration, his body was cut, so he was bleeding. So how can he be Bhagavan? These are the conception. But it is example, and here it is given, in this particular show about the cloud and the dust. When you see the normal air, right? I have put this here. Like for example, this is a picture in Los Angeles. So much dust and so much, we cannot see things. But normally, How is the air? Air is clean. When the COVID stuck, because they were at home, not pollution. So you can see, see the mountain behind. This is what happened even in India. People could see 400 kilometers away, they could see the mountains. That's how the air become clear. That's how the air become clear. And they're like amazed. Oh, we can see Himalaya from our terrace. Because of so much pollution, you couldn't see that. So now less Indian people think that, oh, this is the air which is polluted. Air is not polluted. Air is mixed with the pollution, particles, which is the dust and other stuff. That's why air is always clean. But the materialistic people think that, oh, Krishna is born, he's died, and he was bleeding also. When he was bleeding, the Draupadi tied his sari, piece of sari, and all these things. So how can he be Bhagwan? This is a conception of the less intelligent people. And therefore they cannot surrender to Krishna completely. They cannot surrender to Krishna. So this is what happens when, and this is a beautiful analogy which is given, and that we can see here. It's so beautifully explained in the shloka. So that's what it is. So let's go to shloka number 32. So here, the theme of this shloka is that the spiritual forms are beyond all gross and subtle forms. So all the gross and subtle, this Panch Mahabhut, all the subtle, intelligent, false ego and all that, it's all beyond that. This is not a normal thing that we need to understand that. And that's what is here. So let me read this. Beyond this gross conception of form is another subtle conception of form, which is without formal shape and is unseen, unheard, and unmanifest. The living being has his form beyond his subtle, otherwise he could not have repeated birth. So what is being told here is that we have not seen Krishna's form. It only described in the scriptures. From there we can imagine how Krishna is. Of course, some of our acharyas have seen it. Definitely. They have got darshan, sakshat darshan of Krishna Bhagavan. So they have seen, but not, we have not seen it. So therefore, we will not have the clear understanding of how the form is, what the form is going to look like. But we can read from the scripture with the trust, those acharyas who have seen it, when they say, I have seen it, and this is how the Krishna looks, then definitely we understand that. Prabhupada has seen Krishna, Gaur Govind, Goswami, Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj has seen, they have all Sakshat Darshan of Krishna.
Did they say when you look at it?
They have sages as mentioned in the scriptures.
Oh, okay.
Because Prabhupada, when he was in Jhansi, he saw Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj has seen it when he was in Bhubaneswar. And their death is very perfect. If you see that they died in the Dham, right? And they were absorbed in the Krishna. They were absorbed completely in Krishna, taking Krishna's name. You might have seen the video where Prabhupada is laying in the bed and he's translating. I mean, at that time, he's not even able to think of anything else other than some pain which is going on in the body, and Prabhupada is dictating the purport. It's unbelievable. We'll see one story which comes in this discussion. I'll talk about that. Gaur Govind Maharaj. It's amazing, phenomenal. And one of the lecture which I was hearing, Amok Lila, glorifying Gaur Govind Goswami Maharaj's life is such an exemplary devotee who came between us and went back to Godhead. So, today morning, Amrita was mentioning in the class, in the Putana Katha, he was telling about two. The Krishna is one who can never leave anybody. Only somebody takes his name once, Krishna will say, okay, I love you, please come. And Radharani is one who will leave everything for Krishna. Radharani is one who will leave everything for Krishna. His family, everything. Husband, no, I don't want this Krishna. So sometimes it looks very contradictory. Oh, Krishna will not leave anybody and she is living, so how is it going? So it's not like that. We should be thinking that I will leave everything for Krishna. Because Krishna, once he has hold onto our hand, he will never leave. And he is giving one very beautiful example. When we carry the checked in bag, the bag has a lock, the normal lock that you put it in, right? And wherever the bag goes, the lock goes. Bag goes up, down, in the trailer, conveyor, the lock still is stuck to the bag. So Krishna is like the bag, lock on our life like a bag. And then once we are connected to Krishna, Krishna never leaves. So what happens is that, like for so many examples, Rajendra, right? He just gave one flower and Krishna came to deliver. Sudama, he came to Krishna, did not ask for anything, but still he was given everything by Krishna. Very, very, simple thing that we see. Kolavicha Sridhar, who will just sell banana, the story comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, where he will just sell banana, leaves and banana. And little Nimai, he was very young, powder the Leela, he will come and he'll negotiate with Sridhar Kolavicha. But, but he did not do any Shastra, but he will just call out and just pray for him. Sometime even in the nights, he will just take Krishna's name. People think that he's so poor, he's hungry, so, they will throw food in his hut. Okay, you eat and stop crying. They think he's crying for the food, but actually he was crying for the Lord. So this is, I don't know when will I cry, but it's very difficult for us to cry for Krishna. Very difficult to cry. But yes, the real devotee, they cry. When they remember Krishna, they simply cry. So, yeah. So, because he says that, the living being has his form beyond his satori. Otherwise, he could not have repeated it. Means we will not have repeated that in life. We will not have that if we know that this is Krishna, I want to go back. Then we'll go back. But that doesn't happen. Okay. Yes, Sriya, can you read? Are you able to read?
Whenever a person experiences by self-realization that both the gross and subtle body have nothing to do with the pure self, at that time he sees himself as well as the Lord.
Yeah. So very wonderful. So once that conception is gone, of subtle body and the material body, we go to transcendental. And there is nothing like these things. No such body exists. So once that is cleared in our mind, then we will automatically liberate. But to get that understanding itself is so difficult. We are not able to understand that very simple concept. Like Prabhupada says, he was in most of the class, Prabhupada says, we are not the body, we are the soul. So one of the devotee asked, Prabhupada, you keep telling me this is such a simple thing. Yeah, but who understands? Nobody understands. That's why I keep repeating. Prabhupada always say, he'll repeat that. We are not the body, we are the soul. Now, if that thing is clear in mind, what will happen? We will not be attached to things. We will not do sense purification. We will always try to remember Krishna. These are the things, outcome of that thing, result of that knowledge. But if we have that knowledge, but if you don't implement, then we are still attached in this world. We still have attachment to opulences. Oh, I want comfort, I want bigger this, I want that. So many desires keeps coming. Because the first rule of bhakti is anya abhilashita shunya. Where is abhilash? No shunya. Do we have a shunya desire? I wish I have $1 million and I'll retire. I don't need anything else. No, somebody saying no, 1 million is too small. I don't know. I'm just still like 40 years. I have another 40 years. Maybe I need 2 million or 5 million. The life never ends. Those who have thousands of dollars in their bank account, they want million. Million is trying to billion. Billion is trying to trillion. Multi-billion. This is what is happening. And everybody is entangled into that. So very difficult to get liberated unless you understand this. So yes, sir. Can you please next 34?
If the illusory energy subsides and the living entity becomes fully enriched with knowledge of the grace of the Lord, then he becomes at once enlightened with self-realization and thus become situated in his own glory.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So what is this? This is what is mentioned about what happens to a devotee. This is the position of a devotee is mentioned. But pure devotee. Not saying like, we are sadhaka, we are practicing devotee, which is good. We slowly will reach to this stage. So that's what is mentioned here. That if the illusory energy subsides and the living entity becomes fully enriched with knowledge by the grace of God, very important. We cannot become enriched on our own. I have read Srimad Bhagavatam, I'm self-learned and I'm teaching. No, that will never happen. That knowledge will not work. It will not purify anyone. Only by the grace of Lord. And Guru is who? Guru is Sakshat, the representative of the Lord. So that's why we are reading and learning in the descending parampara. Bhagavatam was spoken by Vyasdev to his son Sukadeva Goswami. Sukadeva Goswami spoke to Parikshit Maharaj. So in that assembly, Suta Goswami is also present. He spoke to Suta Goswami also at that time. He was speaking to Parikshit Maharaj, but Suta Goswami was listening very attentively. And then Suta Goswami speak to the sages in the Naimeshwaranya. And from there we are hearing this. Parampara is always important for hearing Shastra, especially knowledge about Bhagavan. In material world, it is all this ascending process. Oh, we found this next one. Okay, let's go and try to solve that problem. Okay, next. Oh, Corona. Oh, now there is a Delta. Oh, there is another variant. Today I was on a conference call and somebody said, oh, I'm not feeling well. I said, what happened? Oh, I took the second booster dose. I said, what is that? I said, no, after COVID, there were one booster and then now there is a second booster. I said, I have not taken anything. I've just taken the 2 doses. That's what they were forced upon me by my company. If you don't, then you go back to India. I said, okay, let me take those doses. So this is all to upgrade ourselves, to fight with the variant and all that. So it's all ascending process. We are trying to go there. But here, the knowledge is coming down from the Guru, from the Krishna, actually. So therefore, this is more. So this is the position of a devotee. So he says, by the grace of the Lord, then he becomes at once enlightened with self-realization and thus becomes situated in his own glory. This is what happens to devotee. And this is what we should try to achieve, that we become self-realized. We have to become self-realized someday, if not in this life, some other life. And devotees keep telling, after understanding so much, reading so much, hearing so much, if you are not trying hard in this life, when will you get this Sangha? Next birth, who knows where we will be born? What body we will get? Is there a guarantee? Nothing is guaranteed. So why leave this golden opportunity that we have in our hand? In companies where we work, if there is an opportunity to get promotion, get high, we'll grab that. Oh, I want to work on this project because if I finish it, I'm going to go to the next level. And my increase salary will go up 15-20%. Then everybody is trying for that. And nothing wrong with it. But the same intensity should be applied in our bhakti as well. Because we know this is the only life we will get. There is no other life. This is the only life. So why not take advantage?
You really kicked that point into me last Friday, because I didn't realize, I thought Krishna, I know that Chaitanya was not here in every Yuga cycle, but I thought Krishna did. And then you said, no, he only did once in that big cycle, right?
Yeah, once in the day of Brahma.
It's like, oh my God, I haven't seen, but I know Krishna and Lord Chaitanya. That's amazingly
both can.
Fortune, right?
Just we are so close.
Yeah.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just 500 plus years ago, which is we are able to see his birthplace. We are seeing his Leela Sthalis. If you go to Navdeep Mayapur, you can see all this. Go to Jagannath Puri, we'll see all the places. Siddha Bakul, you can see where the Haridas Thakur will sit and do his bhajan. All these places are still there. They will vanish in few years. I'm telling you, it will go away in 100 years from now. I don't know they will exist or not. So this is the life we have got. And process is already given. We don't have to do anything. Process is given. Like I was meeting yesterday. Yeah, yesterday I met one Mataji. She's retired. She's 65 years old, but she's doing such an amazing bhajan, and so very inspirational. Every day, this is her routine. She's retired. Both husband is retired, has a farm land, and they are well-to-do family, so nothing to worry about. Son is married, daughter is married, both are doing well. Nothing else in their life. So what she does, she wakes up at 3:45 every single day. And this is her routine for last 21 years. From 2001 till yesterday, she has not missed a single day of Brahma Muhurt Japa. 16 rounds, everybody does it. And once we are initiated, or even before that, devotee do it 16 rounds, everybody comes and they do it. But like every day in Brahma Muhurta, that's something astonishing. And what she does it, for about initially 3:45, she begins japa at about 4:15. At 4:15, she starts reciting some bhajan and some ashtakam for about 45 minutes. At 5 o'clock, she will pick up the bead, and 5 to 7 in single place she will sit and finish her day. So this has been routine for 21 years. And then apart from that, she will do, deity worship, as she has got, deity. So she will do worship of deity, again, reading. And I was like, when we will do all those things, so much bhakti, so much devotees are doing so much. This is one devotee that we come to know. There are many more who are doing so much. Even among us, there will be someone who is doing so much bhajan that we don't understand. Because bhajan is all internal. We don't tell. We tell in a closed group to inspire each other. We don't open up in public. Oh, I'm chanting 32 and the Brahma Muhurta. Yeah. No, nothing of that. We just keep it internal. So this is the position of the devotee. So, yeah. So earlier we saw in the earlier sloka that the person who doesn't understand, they will not understand Krishna's birth and death. But here it is mentioned, Evam Janmani Karmani means again his birth is being spoken, right? We see this coming up in the Bhagavad Gita also, there is a shloka, right? Janma Karma Chame Divyam. So it's relating to that, right? So the learned people, they describe the birth and activities of this unborn Lord, which is Sri Krishna. And it's not described in the Vedas. In Vedas, this is not described that Krishna is unborn and all that. It is only in Bhagavatam that we can see this. So it says that thus the learned man described the birth and activities of the unborn and inactive, which is undiscoverable even in the Vedic literature. He is the Lord of the heart. That's why people read Vedas, they have, all the Vedas are they can recite, remember, recite very easily. But they still don't get the love of the Lord, because that is only the knowledge. Intellectually, they have gathered knowledge, but they have not gathered the love for Krishna. That has not come. So this is very difficult for them to get this Gyan. So, because if you see in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells this, right? Janma karma chame divyam. Yo divyam. Yo vetti tat tattvataha. Tyaktva deham punarjanma. Naiti mamidi so Arjuna. So Krishna's, all the birth and death are transcendental. This is something that we all need to understand. Krishna is not like just born like that. No. His birth is not like we get in the hospital, right? Because when the child is born, there is so much things happen in the hospital. We have to give this dose of vitamin D's and so much, his mother is going through so much pain, everything is happening. Here, nothing of that sort happened. There were no doctors in the jail when Krishna was born. It was midnight. Krishna appeared. There was no doctor, no midwife, nothing, no nurse, no anesthesia, nothing was given. But Krishna was born. No blood pus, nothing on his body. It was very clean, effulgent. So definitely that is not. So those who do not understand, they all are considered less intelligent. They will less intelligent. That's what it is being emphasized again and again every time. And that's what we have to understand, that the knowledge we get is a descending. This is how the knowledge has come from Krishna to Srila Prabhupada, and we are all disciples of Srila Prabhupada. We are all trying to understand whatever knowledge has come from Krishna himself. When we follow this process, then that knowledge is perfect. Because if you see here, that all the knowledge that we have to get it in a discerning process, not ascending. We cannot discover, okay, I want to read on my own. I have read it, Bhagavad Gita on my own. I did not understand that. When I took shelter of some, advanced devotee and they started teaching, then we understood something. On our own, we will be able to only create some slides and, share and management concept. Like in India, so many people come and give management class on Bhagavad Gita. And they make a lot of money. And people go from the corporate world to understand, how Bhagavad Gita can help me become vice president in a company. They'll think like that. Vice president think, how can I become a CEO in a company? And that's how I go and attend this class. Arjun, confusion was gone. I'm also confused. Let me go. They get that material knowledge only. They do not get any transcendental spiritual gain through that process. Because the reason for listening to Bhagavad Gita is very different. So it's a mood of a listener, mood of a devotee unto which he listens, he or she. And that decides what will happen to that person. Like in a Shukratal, when the Bhagavatam was spoken by Sukadeva Goswami to Parishit Maharaj, there were thousands of sages there also. But the discussion was between Parishit Maharaj and Sukadeva Goswami. These two were discussing. Everybody were listening, only listening. Now, normally when we are listening, what happens? We become a little passive, right? Because there is no active conversation, no activity. So what happens? We'll fall asleep at times. Like, okay, they are discussing. Now this is, I've heard, I know it. Let me take some rest. I'll take a bathroom break. I need to eat something I've not eaten. I'm not dying in 7 days, so why should I listen so attentively at Parishit? I will listen later on. I ask, So this is how it happens. I'll ask this devotee. This is how we do. I'll ask Robert Prabhu, he listens very attentively. So I'll ask him, and Prabhuji, what did you hear? Let me know. I took a break. But no, he was listening very attentively. That's why the Sudha Goswami is now able to recite the same Bhagavatam to the sages in the Naimisharanya. There's a gap between these two. It is not that it happened immediately. There's a gap between these two. But still he was able to recite the same thing as it is. How? Because he is very attentive to listen. And it happened with Tad Vidhi Pranipatena, Pariprashnana Seva. He was listening very attentively. So this is how the process works. Okay, so here, this particular thing, we was going to talk about the pure devotional service, and also it talks about the Bhagavan. So Bhagavan, as you know, has 6 opulences, right? So anybody knows what are the 6 opulences of Bhagavan? Robert, do you want to take it? Try that 6 opulences. What are the 6 opulences?
It's all knowing.
Oh yes, very good.
It's all knowing. It's all beautiful.
All beautiful, very good.
All wealth.
Perfect.
Is all opulent.
I'm sorry?
Useful. Is that one?
No, not you. Yes, Ram Prabhu, you're saying something.
Opulence, Prabhu.
Yeah, wealth. Opulence is, you can say wealth. His wealth, knowledgeable, beautiful.
Aishwarya, Saundarya.
Aishwarya is powerful, all powerful. Yes, Sri Ram Krishna Prabhu is saying all powerful, correct?
Renounced.
All renounced. Yes, despite having so much renounced. Yeah,
So,
and the strength is power,
yeah.
all powerful. So he's all famous.
Yeah.
Like his pastime happened 5,000 years ago. We are still reading and cherishing. Have you ever seen anybody who's died 200 years ago and we are relishing his pastime? Oh, here we are listening and we are enjoying. Oh, Krishna did this. He was chilling butter. What did he do? How did he do? The pure devotees, they go ecstatic in listening to his katha. They faint. They faint that, oh, Krishna was doing this. We listen to that katha now sometime. But God going Maharaj, he was such a pure soul, such a pure soul, such a pure soul. His life is amazing, amazing. So, yes, the Lord is always spotless, independent, he's omnipotent. And as we discuss, he's master of all the six opulences that we described, So that's what it is. So here are the few verses, which talks about glorify the pure devotional service. Comes in different scriptures, So he says, Save Pumsa Paro Dharmo, which is what we have read some time ago in the second chapter, right? Save Pumsa Paro Dharmo Yator Bhakti Radokshaje Ahetuki Apratihata Yayatma Suprasitade. So these two words, Ahetuki and Apratihata, these two will define our bhakti. Ahaituki means no motivation. I don't want anything. I am reading Srimad Bhagavatam, but miseries will go. No, that is what I don't want that. Oh, by reading this, you will go to Vaikuntha. No, I don't want to go there. I just want to serve Krishna. I have no other hetu except becoming Das, Dasan, Das. And apratihata means uninterrupted. Like I was giving an example of that Mataji. For 21 years, she's chanting in Brahma Murta. Regardless of what time she sleeps, she will be up at 3:45. 4:15, she starts chanting Ashtakam Bhajan till 45 minutes. And 5 o'clock, she'll pick up a bead. In one sitting, she will finish 16 rounds. This is how the bhakti is done, uninterrupted. So this is one definition. What is it? Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. Gnana Karmadi Anavritam. Anikulyano Krishnano Sheelanam Bhakti Uttamam. That is the bhakti which is best. I have no desire. These are all pure devotion. This is how the glorification happens. Sarva Upadi Vinir Muktam Tat Paratvena Nirmalam Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Uchyate. So Rishikesh name has come. What is the meaning of Rishikesh? Anybody knows? Rishikesh. What is it? Master of sense. Yes. He is a master. We are all Godas. Go means senses, and we are servant of that. Oh, my tongue wants nice gulab jamun, Let me go and ask in temple, Prabhu, can I get 2 more? No, Prabhu, we have one. I have last time I couldn't get. Can you give me 1 extra? I just get. Why? Because tongue wants it. So we are becoming servant of our senses. But Krishna is the master of senses. Krishna is the master. So we have to come to that. Where we become master of our own senses. But yeah, right now the situation is different. Okay, so we'll not go there. These are the 6 opinions that we talked about. All beauty, all knowledgeable, fame, renunciation, strength, wealth, all these things. These are the 6 opinions. That's why it's called Bhagavan. Bhagavan is someone who has got all the 6 opulences. Okay. Yes, Mother, can you read 37 Jeshu?
The foolish with a pure kind of knowledge cannot know the transcendental nature of the form. names, and activities of the world. Who is playing like an actor in a drama, not when they express such things, neither in the speculation nor in their words. Correct.
Hare Krishna. So again, it is mentioned that all the pastime that Krishna is doing is all spiritual. But like, sometime in a movie, when we see somebody is shot, right? And then you see blood coming out and all that. But is the person actually dead? The person is not dead. He's just acting. So Krishna came and did pastimes. He was just acting. In a Narvatila, he was just acting. You know? He will act as if he is like a normal human being. Right? He will cry. He'll have blood coming out of his body when the cut is happening. He'll have perspiration. All these things will happen. He'll hungry. He has to eat. All this will happen. But this is like an acting. That's what example is given here. But the person with a poor fund of knowledge, they'll say, oh, is an ordinary person. Like somebody who goes and watch movie and they start crying when their favorite actor or actress they die. Oh, what happened? In India, there is a soap opera which goes, like the serial which goes on from 1 week to another every week, or sometimes they are repeated every day for 30 minutes. Some people attach to so much that is some character gets changed because they start crying. Oh, this gone. What will happen? No, this is all happening out here. This is what is attachment. Our attachment is to this temporary thing within the temporary world. In the temporary world, we have this temporary serial which is, and there is we have got attachment to it. Just imagine our attachment level is so low. So this is what happens when we are not connected to our scriptures. We are not connected to Krishna. We have to connect to Krishna somewhere or other. Like somebody sent the code and then I posted here in our group. Where about japa meditation that Prabhupada has given. So is Krishna name and Krishna different? No, this is the same thing. It is the same thing. We are not able to understand the name of Krishna and Krishna is the same thing because we don't understand the importance of that. That's why our chanting is faulty. They're chanting with thinking, oh, what I have to do tomorrow, what I have to cook, oh, tomorrow office. There's a meeting, the client is so painful, what will I do? This is a prayer during our chanting. If our chanting becomes pure, that we just want to think nothing other than Krishna, then like somebody was asking, there was a question in one of the lectures which I was listening. He says, who can become a guru? Who can become a guru? He says, one, when he's chanting, he's remembering only and only Krishna can become guru. Very simple definition in one line. But to get to that level, everything else has to be done. Controlling all the senses, attentively listening, attentively chanting, and that too not for 1 year, 2 years, consistency. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, he chanted 1 billion rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, 1 billion names to Hare Krishna. Before he even began preaching. That's why his words have so much power. When he speaks, it's like a roar, like a lion. That's why it's called Simha Guru. He's like a lion Guru. He will tear apart Mayavadis and all the grannies and all. He'll just tear apart them. In fact, 90% of his time was going in, uprooting this up Siddhanta. Not talking about bhakti, but something which is not bhakti. He will fight for that. And that's where he used to spend 90% of his time fighting for that. Because of him, we can see so many, we are able to do bhakti very nicely. Bhaktivinoda Thakur got him after praying, thinking, I need a son who can carry on this. Just praying profusely. That who will carry whatever I'm doing, it will get lost. I have nobody. And the Bimal Prasad was born. So we are in such an amazing parampara. If you are not going to get benefit of this, then it is our loss. Nobody else's. So here in this verse, Let me read this. Only those who render unreserved, uninterrupted, favorable service unto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, who carries the wheel of the chariot in his hand, can know the creator of the universe is in his full glory, power and transcendence. So here very beautiful word is used, Rathangapane. Rathangapane word is used. So what is Rathangapane? Vishwadevata. See, in the Kurukshetra battlefield, and it's a very beautiful described in that Bhishma Stuti. It's so beautiful. I think I have picture. Yes, I have picture. Yes, this is how it is. So Rath means the chariot, right? Anga means the part of a chariot. So the wheel is a part of a chariot, right? And one who's holding it is Rathangapana. So Krishna is also called Rathangapana. Here in the Kurukshetra battle, Krishna took a vow, when both Duryodhana and Arjun went to Krishna to ask for help. Krishna says, I'm not going to pick up any weapon. I'm not going to fight. I will give you my army, or I'll be on other side where I'm just available. I'm not fighting, but I will be there on your side. That's it. So obviously, Duryodhana took the army and Arjun got Krishna himself. So Krishna said, I'm not going to pick up a chariot, weapons. So Arjun said, no problem. But Bhishma Dev becomes so furious. He was spreading the rains of arrows, and killing the Pandavas' army like anything. And Arjun was like confused. What is happening? He's not able to do anything. And Krishna said, what are you doing? Arjun, come on, you fight. Why are you not fighting? What's happening? And Arjun said, I'm fighting, but nothing is happening because Bhishma Dev was so furious. And then Krishna said, okay, if you're not fighting, then I will fight. I'll pick up the weapon. And he goes down and picks up the broken wheel, the chariot of a broken wheel, and said, Bhishma Dev, I'm going to kill him. Look at Bhishma. He said, okay, my dear Krishna, please come and kill me. I'm happy to see you in this. So Krishna is perspiring. His garment is becoming loose, upper garment. He's falling down. He's wearing yellow pitambar. And Arjun is like trying to hold him. No, Krishna, you promised that you will not fight. You cannot break your promise. If you break your promise, what will world think? That God is also breaking his promise. How can it happen? No, please don't. This is what is happening. So this is a Rathangapana. Very beautiful pastime. We can discuss sometime. But yeah, this is very amazing. The way it is described in the pages of Bhagavatam, unbelievable. We'll read that sometime. Now, this one is very important, dear devotees. So let's read this, because here I'm going to talk about a short story of Gaur Govind Goswami Maharaj. So, yeah, Shriram, can you please read?
Only by making such inquiry in this world can one be successful and perfectly cognizant. For such inquiry, invoke transcendental static love into the substantive project, who is the proprietor of all the universe. Guarantee 10% immunity from the dreadful repetition of poison.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Thank you. So here he is thanking all the sages for asking questions. Oh, thank you for asking beautiful questions. He is even asking, even before, in the second chapter, first verse. He says, thank you for asking these beautiful questions. Thank you for asking this. And again, he's saying, thank you for asking those intelligent questions. Why? Because only by asking such questions, what happens? The transcendental aesthetic love gets invoked. And that's why I want to bring this story here. See, Gaur Govind Goswami Maharaj had a deity called Gopalji. Very, very beautiful small deity that he had. And he used to worship the deity. So once he was giving lecture and somebody asked question about Radha and Krishna, how they met in Vrindavan, how they meet and all that. Now Gaur Govind Goswami Maharaj was told by other devotees, senior devotees, that don't speak about that. Don't speak about this. Why? Somebody know why you should not speak. Of course, those are all very confidential pastimes. You don't speak to anybody and everybody. Not like that. But he was told not to speak because the Maharaj goes in so much ecstasy that he will cry in explaining those pastimes. He'll just cry profusely when those pastimes will come. So the senior devotees came from, if he keeps speaking on this, he may, leave this world. But somebody asked questions, so now he's answering. And in his answering, he's saying that how the Radha and Krishna is meeting in Vrindavan. And Radha and Krishna is coming together. Now they are in front of each other. They are looking into each other's eyes, eye-to-eye contact. And the Maharaj becomes so ecstatic. He chokes, he's crying. And he asks his servant, please bring Gopalji, please bring. He brings the picture of Gopalji. And by looking at this picture and speaking the name of Gopal, he leaves this world. Wow. This is called the ecstatic love for Krishna. It is unbelievable, dear devotees. You are such a great soul that the more we read about such souls, our bhakti will become more and more strong. And we should read about this. After reading our Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, this thing also should be read.
Do they have any lectures by him on YouTube?
Of course, there are so many lectures. We were flooded with lectures.
The screenshots like this, man.
Yeah, he's flooded with so many lectures, and his lectures are beautiful. And he traveled world over to preach. He traveled world over to preach. And he is, when Srila Prabhupada left, there was so much, chaos in communities, especially in Europe, where some guru left, then the devotee who took initiation from them, they were confused. They were put to another one. Even they left. So they were like, there's so much problem going on. Because when guru leaves, the disciple is like become an orphan. It's very difficult to get to somebody. But Maharaj brought entire communities together so nicely. So he's very, very respected, and he definitely went back to Wanda. There's no question. Everybody says that.
What is Jui?
Gopal Jiu means it's a lovingly they call Gopal Jiu. I think that's what I don't know exactly Jiu means what, but yeah, by lovingly he's called. In fact, he's the own Radha Jui, they call it, especially in the Vrindavan, in the Braj Dham, they call Radha Jui. It's with love they call that. He is the only one who was, because Prabhupada title was given to Bhaktisiddhanta Sarvabhauma Thakur and our Srila Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. But even him, the Prabhupada title was used in some cases, yes. But then it was told that no, we have agreed that only Prabhupada will use the title, not beyond that. So his disciple would use it internally for him, but not outside. But he's the one because he's such an exemplary devotee and servant of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada was so pleased with him, with his service. He spent 16 days in Bhubaneswar and the temple was being built. 16 days constantly with him. So beautiful. You should hear about him from various classes. Very beautiful. Okay, so now from here we are going to talk about the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. So 40 to 44, 5 shloka talks about glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. We'll quickly finish this. We are running a little over time. So here, Bhagavatam is confirmed as is a literary incarnation of the God. It is not an ordinary thing. It's not a normal book that we get chemistry, physics, maths. No, it is not. It's a Krishna himself. And what is the purpose of this? Its purpose is to meant for the ultimate good for all the people. So Robert Puru, can you read the translation, please?
This Srimad Bhagavatam is literary incarnation of God, and it is compiled by Srila Vyasa, the incarnation of God. It's meant for the ultimate good of all people, and it is all successful, all blissful, all good.
Yes. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Robert. So it's so perfect. It is all successful, all blissful, all perfect. There's no question about it. This is how we should understand this. In fact, has anybody heard a story of a pig pen, big pen, big pen, big pen, Pigpen? Yeah, story of pig pen. The story of a devotee, who was in the Dumna Maharaj describes, has written this story. That how somebody who was drunkard, who was infected with LSD, drugs and all that, how he become a great devotee. So very amazing, fascinating when we hear this. And when he became a devotee, he will do a very good book distribution. And how he will sell? He will tell people, Prabhupada saved me, Prabhupada saved my life. And that's how we sell the books, distribute books. So you can just search for Pig Pen and read a very nice story is there. But the one takeaway from today, just read the story. Amazing. How when the mercy of the pure devotee falls on anybody, what happens? This is a true example. This is a real life example of how Prabhupada's mercy has converted a drug addict into a great devotee. It's an amazing story.
That's pretty much the story of Prabhupada, right? He came to the West, everybody over here was
Yes.
nuts, right?
So this absolutely. So here you can read this Pig Pen, Pigpen, and you can see the Dumna Maharaj talking about that. It's very beautiful story. Okay. So text 41. Srila Vyasadeva delivered it to his son, who is the most respected among the self-realized, after extracting the cream of all Vedic literature and histories of the universe. This is what happened when Narad Muni told him, when he was not happy. Narad Muni told him you have to describe glories of Krishna. You have not done it. So please do that. And that's what he did, and then he felt satisfaction. So Narad Muni gave this knowledge to whom? To his son, Sukadeva Goswami, right? And then Sukadeva Goswami gave it to whom? In turn, they will Bhagavatam, great Emperor Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj was given this knowledge, right? And obviously, when it was being spoken, everybody surrounded that, because when Harikatha goes on, so many people don't want to miss. So what happened? This is how the knowledge came. 41, 42, this is how it is. So Vyasadeva spoke to Sukadeva Goswami. Sukadeva Goswami spoke with Parikshit Maharaj. Sukadeva Goswami spoke to Sudha Goswami, because when he was in the assembly, he listened to that. And then Sudha Goswami spoke with Naimisharan. Sages Naimisharan. So this is how the knowledge has transferred. This is the called descending process. I will send you the picture if you like. No problem.
Yes.
I'll send you these and the Gopal Ji as well.
Oh, yes, please.
So this is the descending process of knowledge transfer. This is the perfect process. This is the perfect process for all of us. And we are in the right parampara to achieve this and receive this. So here, this particular is a question which was asked. One of the questions which was asked, the sixth question was asked, right? In the first chapter. The first chapter was questioned by the sages. That's the first chapter. So 6 questions were asked. So one of the questions is getting answered. So can anyone tell me which question is being answered here? So you can read the translation. So at least it gives an idea that which question it could relate to.
So I think where does Vedas hide after Krishna left this world or something?
No, you are close, but you say, where have the religious principles taken shelter after the Lord Krishna's departure. Because Krishna
Oh,
is
yeah,
Lord. That's what. Yeah, so you are close, yes, but yes, good. So when this was sixth question, which was asked, that when Krishna left, where does the dharma, because dharma also went along with Krishna. So where does the rigid principle took place? So they took shelter. Yeah, Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, we all must, I'm using word must, read Srimad Bhagavatam. We should hear Harikatha on Srimad Bhagavatam repeatedly, every day. Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya. They call it, Bhagavatam itself is told, Nityam Bhagavad Seva means what? Every day we should serve Bhagavatam. Meaning, read Srimad Bhagavatam every day. One verse, two verse. In my very initial days, um, uh, one of the brahmachari used to tell me, we used to speak to, and he said, because when they announced that, okay, Bhagavatam set is available, and that time it was like very economical. It was just 2,500 rupees. And I said, okay, Prabhu, I'll take one. I was very enthusiastic. I bought it, but I never was able to open it because came so many books. I said, oh my God, this is too much. Because I have never seen Bhagavatam. And he says, it's a set, and it was very heavy, and it was as it is in the box. Then after a few months, he said, Prabhu, what happened? Then are you reading? He said, no, I have not read. Okay, so he told me, he gave me a guidance how to read. He said, what do you do, Prabhu? Just keep that book open, on your desk, wherever you can see it. In a place where it is prominent, you could see it. And then whenever you'll see, just go and read, one page or one shloka. That's all you do. And then you will develop taste. And that was perfect recipe that slowly we develop taste. Initially, we become overwhelmed with the bulk of volume saying, oh, this is too heavy, too much. What will I do? But I'm telling that once we read and start relishing, we'll curse ourselves. Why did not I do it earlier? I had time. I had so much. I had no children. I could have read. I did not. I wasted my life. This is the regret will come. That why I did not start so early. That regret will let. We should not regret. At least that's what we keep telling, that we should not waste our life. Then we feel regretful at the time of death. I wish I had chanted. I wish I had done this. I wish. That should not be our condition. At least for the devotee perspective, that should not happen. So this is a question answered in the first chapter, in 1:123, where this is asked, whom have the religious principle taken shelter after Krishna's departure? That's the question. So they all took shelter of whom? Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, we should read Bhagavatam every day. No single day should go without touching Srimad Bhagavatam. Every day. Even one shloka is good enough. Even just a translation, good enough. Every day. Consistency is going to be the key. So these are the last words for today. So, yeah. So Suta Goswami heard the conversation of Sukdev Goswami and Maharaj Parikshit on the banks of Ganges. And what is saying? How did he listen? Was he listening, saying, okay, they are two are talking, so I will just take it. They are talking. No, he was rapt attention. So much attention. That's why his name is given Ugra Shrava. We got that verse in one of the words. Suta Goswami's name is described as Ugra Shrava. Somebody who listens very attentively, rapt attention, no disturbance. No disturbance. No disturbance internally as well as externally. Externally is what for us, like we have mobile, we get some ping and say, oh, what is that? Okay, that's an external. Internally, mind is going here and there, not in the class, mind is going everywhere. That is, but here, Ugra Shrava means he is listening both internally and externally. He is fully focused on what Sukdev Goswami is speaking with Parikshit Maharaj. And there are no microphones and speaker system and all that, big assembly. But then unless, if you don't hear, and there is no replay or playback or recording system which you can just play, you just listen once and that's it. That goes. I was just talking to, Southern Ramchandra Prabhu once, he does very nice classes for the people, young children in Middle East, And how he does that, he just does in Gurukul style. No pen, paper, you just recite. Means you just speaking and you're really listening. That's it. You're not making notes or nothing of that sort. And I was very amazed at the way he says this is working so well. Because when you take shelter, when we take shelter of something which I'm going to record, I'm going to listen later, immediately our attention goes away. Immediately, because what is in mind? Oh, I have recorded, I will listen. But that recording will never open. It will never open. Very difficult. Oh, I've taken notes. Who will see notes? Some sincerity must be doing it. I'm not saying note taking is bad, but I'm saying more than that, listening attentively has got the best value that we can get in any lecture. So he's saying, he listened with, I heard with the rapt attention. And thus by his mercy, he is thanking Sukadeva Goswami. That's why we should always be grateful to our Guru, Parampara, that because of them we are getting it. Prabhupada translated by sleeping just 2 hours, translated Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we are able to read this. Otherwise, it's not possible.
It's kind of like the same thing Sanjaya said at the very end of the Bhagavad Gita, right? I'm amazed at this conversation.
Yes.
My hair is standing on me.
Only he was able to, Dhritarashtra was listening, but he was not able to get any such feeling. Why? Because he had anxiety, he had a fear in his heart that all my sons are going to die. That was a fear he had. And he was not able to see good thing for the Pandavas. He was so much attached to his children, especially Duryodhana, who was so sinful, but he was still attached to them. Look at the Krishna on the other hand. His own son Bhaumasur was killed by him because he was not good. Krishna will punish his own son as well. So Krishna is very clear. If you are doing mischievous activity regardless of who you are, you'll be punished. Look at Dhritarashtra. He is so attached. He knows my son is doing wrong things, but still temple. So yes, so here Sukadeva Goswami's greatness is being described by Sudha Goswami, and he's being very grateful. He's not saying that, oh, this is all, I got so much power, knowledge, so I'm telling you now. No, it's that I got it from Sukadeva Goswami when he spoke to Parikshit Maharaj, and that's I'm going to just speak those things. I'll repeat those words, that's what he says. So, yeah, so this is the glory of Srimad Bhagavatam, therefore we should all read every day. Srimad Bhagavatam, very, very important, every day. Nityam Bhagavatam. Okay, so we'll stop here for today. We'll finish the chapter 3. We'll begin with chapter 4 tomorrow. Not tomorrow, the next week. But tomorrow there is a very important class being given. There is an announcement which is there in the temple groups. I put it in our Chaitanya Dev also. Very senior disciple, very senior brahmachari is coming from ISKCON, Chaupati. Yeah. So please attend the class. Vraj Bihari Prabhu. Vraj Bihari Prabhu. He's amazing. So please come. It is going to be incoming. Starts about 7 because he's landing at about 5:30. So it will take some time to get freshen up, and that's why the program is little at 7:30. But yeah, please come because this is going to be a very beautiful class. And a lot of senior devotees will be there in the assembly because he's coming from India. So join. I think Rampur will be so close to you. It won't be far off, right? Where you live from?
Coming, Prabhu. I didn't see the address, but yeah, it's near coming.
It's all coming only. Might be.
Sure.
It is coming area.
Okay.
No. That is day after tomorrow.
Oh.
So in day after tomorrow in temple also. So we have a series of lectures coming now. You know? Tomorrow is Vraj Bihari Prabhu. Then in temple, very senior Prabhupada disciple is there. He is going to give a lecture. Okay. And then next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, there is another devotee who's coming in and it's going to give a lecture. So it's like we have filled. And then from 10th of October, Damodar month begins, Kartik month. So every day we'll offer the ghee lamb to Lord Damodar. We'll start that in October. And I think there is a plan to have the everyday program in the temple too. The plan is there. They're being worked out. But yeah, so very auspicious things are going to happen now.
Okay. So Sandeep Prabhu, I think I heard he bought a house near.
Yeah, so
the
that's a
exit.
place. That's a place. Yes, Ramprabhu. That is where this
Okay, okay.
program is there.
Okay.
Yes. So please come.
Yeah, it's very close.
It's
Yes.
very close from your home. In fact, most of our people who live in there, they also join in. It's so close, and we don't get association of sadhus regularly.
Yes, yes.
So therefore, we should not miss. You know. So please come.
Thank you.
Attend that. Yes. Okay. So we'll end here. Thank you so much, dear devotees. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhuvadev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय,
जय
ग्रंथ श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय.
जय हरे
हरे
कृष्ण हरे
थैंक यू.